In, and then it's out, and then it's in, and then it's out, and then it's in. Can't see it there. There. And it's in-ish, and then it's out. What? I nearly struck myself in the face.
Shadowlust.
Greetings, I'm Shad, and the concept, the idea of carrying a weapon on your back is something that myself and many other medieval enthusiasts have looked at and considered and explored the practicality and possibility of. But one thing that we haven't looked at yet is axes. It's an interesting idea, and let's just be honest, all right? Having a weapon on your back looks cool. It's awesome, you know, you walk around, look, I got a sword, it's also called an axe or whatever. From a historical point of view, generally it wasn't done, but does that mean we can say definitively that it was never done? No, of course not. In fact, I would be willing to bet that someone in history tried this out and in fact probably found some conveniences in which he did it. And one of the big conveniences about carrying a weapon on your back is that it's easier to do things in which where if it was on your hip, it would be cluttering and getting in the way. For instance, if you needed to crawl, the weapon would start to drag on the ground if that case, but if it was on your back, it would be off from the dirt and the ground, so that's an advantage. Also, if you needed to climb. And running is an interesting thing because having worn a weapon on my head, specifically a sword, when you run with it, it does swing around quite widely, and so you actually need to hold it in place. So would holding it on your back be a bit more convenient? If it was strapped in place fairly, securely, yeah, it would be a little bit more convenient. The issue is in drawing the weapon. The most popular weapon that is depicted being carried on one's back is, of course, a sword, and other YouTubers have explored the practicality of carrying a sword on your back in quite a lot of detail, though having said that, when I really think about it, there's a couple of different ideas that come to my mind, which really does request or require a dedicated video on the subject, so I'll save that for another time. But what about axes specifically? And I've been kind of inspired to explore this idea from the recently released God of War, because Kratos in God of War, he has a really cool axe. In fact, this is a replica I made for, my dedicated video where I have a look at his axe combat. Link right there and in the description below if you're interested in watching that video. And in God of War, we see Kratos having this interesting kind of horseshoe-like hook, which seems to be made after the God of War symbol or logo, in which he is able to hook his axe on the back with quite a bit of ease. So I wonder, how effective or practical would that be? And if it isn't, is there a way that we could make it practical so Kratos could get hanging his axe on his back thing, and could it be done in real life? Is this an effective and reasonable option? First of all, I'll point out, no, this is not a historically accurate axe. I go into detail about the plausibility of this axe design in my video where I review the combat in God of War for its practicality and also its authenticity. So please do go watch that video if you want the breakdown of this axe, so I don't need to go over it again. An interesting historical point to just highlight in this consideration is that axes were not a common weapon for self-defense in the past. In fact, swords were far, far more common because they're so much more convenient. They're easier to carry around. In regards to combat, axes were far more common in a battlefield scenario than just your average Joe walking around with a weapon that was there ready for him in case he was attacked, he got in trouble, or any number of reasons. Of course, you need to carry the axe when you're using it on the battlefield, so you would want to figure out a more convenient way to carry it. The difference between carrying an axe for a battlefield, in contrast to self-defense, is the fact that you might not need to draw the axe quickly. On a battlefield, you kind of know when you're about to go into the fighting scenario, and you'll be there with the other guys in the army, and you'll have the weapon drawn, ready. But in a self-defense scenario, you have the weapon wherever it is on your person, usually on the belt, something like this, and if you're waylaid suddenly, grabbing the weapon out quickly is quite important. And the problem with carrying an axe on your belt like this is you could unhook it, but then it requires another stage because you're not holding the weapon where you'd actually, need to hold it to use it effectively. You could kind of do that, but no, you would want to draw it, grab it, and then you're ready to do some damage. The advantage with the sword is that the handle is situated here, as opposed to an axe where the actual axe head is. And so if it was a sword, pretend it was a sword, you just grab the handle, draw it, and you're ready to go. You can, but the problem with hanging an axe like this is, yeah, the swinging around danger end. And you wouldn't really want to, my leg. So there's some problems associated with that. And because of that, hanging the axe on your back actually might be a more effective solution. So God of War, he gets points for this. If it was on your back, like we see in God of War, he just grabs the handle right away and is good to use it. So in a situation where you need to grab the axe wherever it's hung on your body quickly and then get ready for an attack, hanging the axe on your back as opposed to your hip might actually be more effective if there is an effective way to do it. So then now let's explore that. What is an effective way in which we can hang this axe on your back? Now in God of War, you see that kind of little horseshoe hook thing. I do see a couple of problems with its plausibility. The first thing is that the hook generally seems to conveniently hang from Kratos' back on an angle, out ready for the axe to hook in on. Where if it was just fixed in a casual way to his, his belt, shoulder, whatever, it would probably be hanging flat and there would be no way to get the actual axe hooked in to hang where he wants it to go. But if there was a way to hold that hook on an outwards angle, that would probably be better, but it would still take a lot of practice to know the exact place to hook the axe where it needs to go. In fact, how easy would it be to aim an axe and hook it on your back in this way? Well, that's the very thing we're going to find out in this video, because I've taken a look at Kratos' axe hook and made a couple of improvements. First of all, I widened the hook a little bit and lengthened one end. And so the theory here, and I haven't actually tried this out, so you'll get to see me test this design for the first time on camera to see how effective it is. And so the theory is that the axe, when moving onto the back, is going to hit this section of the hook and then slide into place to hang, which will help me aiming or just hooking it in where I need to, because without this kind of guiding thing, it'd be very easy to overshoot the mark and miss this hook, which would make it far more difficult hanging the axe on your back. The next thing, I've put supports to hold it out on an outwards angle, so it's not hanging down on a lower angle like Kratos' one is, and in fact there's nothing, because Kratos' one, like I said, it would look like it would just drop all the way flat and sit flush like this. So it's holding it out on an angle, so it's always there. And the other thing, if it was on a downwards angle, there's nothing really stopping the axe from just sliding out. But on an upwards angle, once it's hooked in, it'll hold it in place. So the theory is, this is the axe, this is the hook, and it'll come in, hit there, slide in, fall down, and hang. And voila, it'll be hanging on your back. Let's see if it works. So, are we ready? How does it look? Yeah? Are we good? First of all, I need to point out a rather significant physical limitation that contrasts this method of hanging axe on your back the way Kratos does it, is that my axe is wood. So I can, hook it up like Kratos does. Did I get it? Are you in close? No, see. Well, I'll try that, more properly later, but I just wanted to emphasize the swinging up part, right? I can do it because it's wood, but when I was at the hardware shop and picking up a real axe, not a real combat axe, but real axe, just to double check it with a real axe, I tried to do this motion with it, and I could not lift it up past this section. So this movement with an axe is actually a superhuman feat. And if any of you can do it, well, you're much, much stronger than me, but there was no hope of me lifting up because all the axe weight was here. I was like, I couldn't get it past there. So for us regular humans, the more practical way to hook the axe on the back is to actually grab it like so and do it somewhere there. And I have no idea, am I hooked on? Did I get it? Am I hooked? Only partially by the look of it. So I'm going to attempt it a couple of times Kratos style to see if how practical it is for Kratos to do it. And of course, yes, he's incredibly strong, so he can just lift it up in this motion as he does. Of course, the weird thing, right, is he lifts it up and he hooks it with the axe facing this way, which seems weird to me, okay? Can I even hook it? Can I hook it on? Is it on? Did I get it? I think I got it. That one didn't seem too secure, but it seems it would be more practical to hook it this way instead of spinning it that way. Yeah. So, all right, we'll try it a couple of times now. Did I get that first shot? No, but let's see if I get it properly, because getting it out from that was a bit tricky. It's not that easy or convenient so far. I wonder if practice, I could just get it each time. But so far, doesn't seem to want to do it. Yay! I think I got it! I got it! I think I got it! So, how secure is it? Can I, whoops. It's not very secure. Okay, maybe Kratos has perfect practice, sensory awareness, or awareness of his axe to get it hooked on. But for me, no, it's not working. Hey, that's kind of working. Kind of like, did I get it that time? Is it hooked on? It is very awkward. I don't think it's working. But the thing is, regular human wouldn't be able to do that anyway. So for a regular human, we would need to grab the axe like this and hook it on this way. Does that work? That seems to actually be a little bit easier, but it's not hooked on properly. So maybe if I bring it up so I can actually feel it there, and then if I wanted to hook it on, I can just feel my way. And that seemed pretty darn easy that way around. And is it on my back? It is. That's hooked on. Now, how secure is it? If I walk around and an axe would actually be probably even more secure. There's more weight pulling it into the hook. So if I walk around, got my, here, it's my axe on my back, and it's still on my back. So in terms of once you get it there, this does seem fairly secure actually, right? I'm walking around. All right, what if I jump? Yeah, so maybe not jumping, but getting the axe in the hook, like there, I can kind of see it and then just drop it in. All right, so hooking it over your arm like that is much, much easier. Ah, got it! But it fell out. That's a problem. I'm gonna make this work, I'm determined. So, get it down. So that, there, okay? Yeah. So, once it's in properly, it seems kind of secure-ish. So, secure enough that actually, except for jumping, like what we saw before, casual walking around, it's all right. And in contrast, if you ever held a sword on your hip, and an axe is about as heavy as a sword, it does pull quite heavily on your waist, on your belt. This seems actually more comfortable for casual walking around. Putting it away isn't too much of a, like, if you had to put it, because you need to take time and aim and figure it out, and look, it's already kind of falling out, that's no good. Get in properly. There. If you have to take a minute or two to put it away, but once it's there securely, and maybe you can get a better design to make it more secure than what I've done, maybe like upward hooks, prongs at the end of the hook part. And again, just to see how well. That's actually not bad. I did that fairly quickly and easily. Practice makes perfect. And once it's in there, it's secure enough. I mean, I'm sure you could improve the design and make it even better. Then you're ready to walk around, you're doing your mentoring, you can hold your meat or whatever. The important part about any, hanging method, if it's on the belt or if it's on your back, is how quickly can you draw it. And I think this might be where the back hook, hanging an axe from your back, I think this is where we might actually run into some better adventures, because drawing it is pretty easy and you can do it fairly quickly. Once you get it on the back. I did it! I think I did it so you can do it if you had the strength, so Kratos, yeah, regular human over back, and then once it's there, okay, drawing it, very quick. This is a very quick draw, you know, method of carry. In, down, and then it's like, what? You're looking at me funny. You want to fight? Fight! Whoa! All right, I'm liking this. This method of axe carrying, okay, biggest advantage, huge bonus is it's quick draw, okay? Once it's there, and you're like, oh yeah, aha, got it, and I'm good to go. And you could draw it from your back with regular strength because you're not trying to lift it that way. You're actually just letting gravity drop it down and you're good to go. So let's show it from this angle. So putting it there and just hooking it there, letting it drop. And there we go. That was pretty quick and easy. And then when I want to fight, whoa, so cool. Let's do that again. Oh, and again. Oh, there. Oh, I'm liking this. This is cool. There we go. I think we made it work. I think, you know, hanging an axe on your back is plausible, okay, and possible. And there are certain conveniences to it if you could make it more secure. Once it's in there, something could hold it in place better. But once it's in, gosh, pulling it out is pretty darn quick and easy. That's awesome. I like it. I like it a lot. So there we go, guys. This has been my exploration on the practicality of drawing an axe from your back. And the conclusion was rather surprising, like getting it up this way. Maybe if I practice more, but no, that's, whoa, did I, holy crap! I did it! Maybe you just need practice. But the thing is, you actually kind of need to watch what you're doing to get to aim it. But once it's there, I think you just need practice. It's just a matter of practice. Maybe Kratos isn't as unrealistic as I was saying. Maybe you can do it too. And then it's there, and you're good to go. Awesome! I love it. That's great. And with practice, 100% plausible and even possibly effective. So thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed as much as I've enjoyed making it. This has been a lot of fun. And if you haven't seen my analysis of Kratos' combat, there's a card there, link in the description below. Lots of fun. It's just a fun, nerdy discussion. Hope to see you there. And until that time, farewell.